Hi there, I'm Larissa from Erlkis, which stands for English Resource Lab, keeping it simple. What are you going to do after this video? Well, for me, I'm going to make myself a juice. And I'm going to put carrots in it. I'm going to put some celery, maybe some oranges and some strawberries as well. I love this juice. Oh, in fact, voila, I have my juice. I've already made it. But later I'm going to make another juice. Why did I say I'm going to make a juice instead of I will make a juice? Well, the reason I said I'm going to make a juice is because it's a plan that I have. It's an intention. If you ever get confused between knowing whether to use going to or will, well, this is the video for you. And in this video, what I'm going to do is compare using going to with will, with some examples. And lastly, after I've done that, I'm going to show you how we use going to for the past. Interesting. But to start with, why don't we have a look at the main reasons why we use going to and then will. So to start with, let's begin with going to. We use going to when we have a plan. We're thinking about doing something in the future and we go through all of the steps that we need to do and we carry it out. So it's a plan, it's an intention. It's a very firm decision that we make. It's definite. We also use going to when we can see that there is some sort of evidence. I think it's going to be really hot tomorrow because today is like 35 degrees. That's quite hot. So I think it's going to be hot tomorrow. So the evidence is obviously with the temperature of today. We also use going to for threats. So if we want to threaten somebody, we also use going to. And we're going to see some examples shortly. But before that, let's look at the differences now between going to and will. Why do we use will? Well, while going to is about a plan, will isn't. Will is very spontaneous. And spontaneous means that we think of things on the spot as we go along. Let's just go along and then make the decision. That's spontaneous. We also use will when we want to volunteer something. Oh, the phone. I'll get that. I've just volunteered. We also use it for conditions. So there's some sort of a conditional situation. If X, then Y. I will bring in the washing if you hang it out. We also use will when we make a promise. You want me to buy milk? Yes, I promise I'll get the milk on the way home. I will get the milk. I won't forget to get the milk. That's the negative of will. And we also use it when we talk about something that's going to happen eventually. So it's not going to happen right now. To sort of see now how these two words work in sentences and examples, let's have a look at 4 sets of sentences. I'm going to see a film tonight. That's a plan. It's an intention. Versus, I will see that film. That tells me that whilst it is sort of an intention, it's something that's going to happen eventually. It may not happen soon. Example number 2. I'm going to marry Simon next year. That's a plan. It's a definite decision. Versus, I will marry Simon. Now, I will marry Simon is very conditional. I will marry Simon if he asks me. I'm going to the movies. Well, it's cold in the theatre. I'm going to put on a jumper because it's cold in here. That's a decision. And it's definite. Versus, I will put on a jumper. Yes, I'll put on a jumper if it gets cold enough. Not now. I'll do it a bit later. Let's have a look at some more sentences now using going to. I've made one juice, but later on, I'm going to make myself a glass of tomato juice. I'm going to the supermarket to buy what I need, and when I get home, I'm going to chop up the ingredients, put them in the blender and make the juice. Let's look at some more examples. Oh, there are lots of clouds in the sky. I think it's going to rain. The clouds are the evidence, the proof. I've been planning a trip to France. We are going to France next year, or we're going to France next year. It's a decision. It's definite. Yes, it's also a plan and it's an intention. I'm going to cancel the trip if you buy a new car. It's a threat. Now let's look at some sentences using will. I think I will have chicken for dinner tonight. It's very spontaneous. I'm thinking about it now. Maybe dinner is in a couple of hours' time. I'll help clean the dishes after dinner. Volunteering. I'll wash the car if you mow the lawn. There is a conditional. I'll call you tomorrow. I promise I'll call you tomorrow. So the form for this in the positive is subject plus the be verb, an, are, is, plus going to plus the base verb. And of course in the negative, it's the subject plus the verb plus not, plus going to, plus the base verb. Now let's talk about how we use going to talk about something that happened in the past, using the future in the past. How does that work? Let's have a look at these three sentences to see. I was going to invite Sue last night, but I changed my mind. I decided I didn't want to invite her. Jenny was going to wear a shirt, but she wore a dress instead. So yesterday she was thinking about wearing a shirt, but then she changed her mind. They were going to go to the beach, but decided to stay home. They had better things to do, like watching videos on going to. So just to recap, the main thing you need to remember with going to is that we use it when we have an intention, when we have some sort of a plan, when we can see evidence of something that's going to lead us to do something in the future. Whereas will is far more relaxed, it's more spontaneous. We don't make firm, planned decisions, we just make them on the spot. We're spontaneous. This is a great juice. Oh, love it. Oh. Now, if you enjoyed this video, then definitely hit the subscribe button now and the bell, because we're going to be putting out a whole range of new videos. I'm Larissa. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.